China's forbidden city gleamed with gold, but beneath the silken gardens lay rivalry, whispers, and danger. Every glance or word could change a woman's fate. Concubines played a deadly game of power and survival. Watch closely to uncover the truth behind the Emperor's court. Chapter 1. The Emperor's World. Think of the Emperor as the ultimate CEO of an empire, but with power over millions of lives, not just money. In the Forbidden City, nearly 1,000 buildings stood like symbols of authority, each corridor and courtyard designed to reinforce control. This wasn't a mansion for show, it was a political machine. Thousands of officials, eunuchs, servants, and hundreds of women lived under a strict hierarchy, each playing a role in executing the Emperor's orders. Maintaining numerous consorts wasn't indulgent, it was a strategy. Each woman could produce heirs, strengthen alliances with powerful families, or influence court decisions subtly. Every choice, from clothing to ceremonies, reinforced power. Obedience wasn't optional. A single mistake could mean loss of status or worse. The palace looked stunning, silk, gold, and gardens, but it was also a carefully controlled world where survival depended on discipline, intelligence, and understanding the Emperor's rules. Chapter 2. The Palace Hierarchy. Power in the Emperor's court was invisible, precise, and unforgiving. At the top stood the Empress, the official wife, whose status gave her authority over every other woman in the palace. Below her were noble consorts, and concubines, each rank defining where a woman lived, what she wore, and how much influence she could wield. This wasn't decoration, it determined survival. The Empress lived in the grandest quarters with the highest ranking attendants, while lower ranked consorts occupied smaller halls with fewer privileges. Access to the Emperor was ceremonial, not casual. A noble consort might have scheduled meetings, while lower-ranking women waited weeks or months for a single audience. Rank also dictated food, clothing, and even the chance to influence court politics. A whispered word could shift alliances or protect a child's future. In this palace, status wasn't luxury, it was life. Mastering the hierarchy required intelligence, strategy, and constant awareness. Chapter 3. Life behind the silk curtains. Life behind the silk curtains wasn't freedom. It was rigid, structured, and highly monitored. Every morning began with grooming rituals, ceremonial duties, and careful attention to attire. Attendants observed every movement, and a small mistake could ruin a woman's standing. Meals were ceremonial, clothes inspected, greetings rehearsed. Visiting or leaving the palace required special permission. Most women never saw the city beyond the walls. Social interaction was limited, controlled, and politically dangerous. Friendships could backfire. Leisure existed but was structured. Music, calligraphy, and poetry weren't indulgences but demonstrations of refinement. The palace was a luxury prison, beautiful yet restrictive, where appearances could determine survival. Every gesture, word, and smile mattered. Influence came from subtle actions, not overt displays. To thrive, women had to be clever, disciplined, and strategic, navigating a network of rules invisible to outsiders. Chapter 4. Ambition and rivalry. Life in the Emperor's court was a competition, where ambition was a currency as valuable as gold. Winning the Emperor's attention could bring influence, wealth, and status rivaling the most powerful generals and ministers, but the competition was intense. Think of a relentless race, where every smile, word, and gesture could determine your future. Favor wasn't just about affection, it was political leverage. A favored consort could sway decisions, recommend family members for high office, or even influence succession, but with opportunity came rivalry. Consorts watched each other closely. Alliances formed and broke like power blocks in a government. A misstep could mean losing favor, or worse, becoming the target of whispers that spread faster than scandal in modern tabloids. Real historical records mention cliques and factions forming within the palace, each trying to promote its own interests. These rivalries weren't mere gossip. They shaped imperial policies, succession disputes, and sometimes even sparked larger political confrontations outside the palace walls. Chapter 5. Secrets and Scandals. For every painting of serene gardens and silken robes, there are stories of punishment, exile, and cruelty that rarely make it into popular memory. When power is concentrated in one person, the consequences of falling out of favour are severe. Some consorts faced harsh discipline, from confinement to loss of rank, and in extreme cases, removal from the court entirely. This wasn't melodrama, it was a system where obedience and rules were enforced without mercy. There are documented cases where concubines were punished for disobedience or perceived threats to the emperor's authority. The pain they endured was real, though chroniclers often softened the language. Rumours of poison or violence appear in later novels and dramas, but the true brutality often came through isolation, loss of status, and forced separation from children or family. Chapter 6. The Role of Imperial Children. In this world of strict hierarchy, bearing children, especially sons, could transform a woman's life overnight. A child, particularly a boy, wasn't just an heir, he was a political asset that could change alliances, elevate his mother's rank, and secure advantages for her family. Consorts who gave birth to princes gained access to privileges rivaling even high-ranking court officials. Their sons could one day become emperors, making their mothers influential figures behind the scenes. This shaped every decision and every rivalry, because success wasn't measured by jewelry or feasts, but by legacy, a living heir. But this path was complicated. The Empress still held ultimate authority among women, and relationships between mothers of influential sons and the Empress could be tense. Some alliances formed out of necessity, others out of strategy. Understanding how motherhood functioned inside the palace reveals a world where power, love, and politics were inseparable. Chapter 7. How History Remembers the Court. Today, most of what people think about Chinese emperors and their consorts comes from novels, operas, and TV dramas, stories full of palace coups, poison rings, and dramatic whispers in candlelight. But real history is both more subtle and more fascinating. Official records mix facts with the perspectives of chroniclers, meaning some episodes are embellished or interpreted through the values of the time. Later storytelling added layers of myth, turning palace occasions into intense drama for entertainment. While some stories draw from truth, many are shaped by cultural imagination. The real brutality wasn't always dramatic violence. It was power structures that controlled every detail of life, limiting freedom and shaping destinies. Understanding the difference between historical reality and popular myth makes the story richer and more enlightening than any simple tale of glamour or cruelty. Now you've seen the palace behind the silk and gold, where power, strategy, and danger ruled. Hit like, share your thoughts, and subscribe to uncovering more untold history.